Wake that ass up.
Get up and get turned up with DeDe in the morning.
We get wild a bit.
Did you guys hear what happened to Josh Hamilton? Right? This guy here played with the former Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers.
Oh, I got to tell you what happened with him and his daughter
Drop
right
it like
now.
it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Hot topic.
Powered by 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK.
Yeah, former Texas Ranger Josh Hamilton was arrested for allegedly beating his daughter, you guys.
The court documents say Child Protective Services and officers began investigating after an underage relative of Hamilton told an adult about it. The affidavit says Hamilton caused bodily injury and pain by, quote, throwing a chair towards the victim, which broke and hit the child in the leg. The documents also allege Hamilton, quote, struck the victim in the back with an open and closed fist. Court documents say other children, quote, heard portions of the assault but were not injured.
So this was allegedly his oldest daughter, because he has 3 daughters, I believe they're saying.
I believe so.
And she must have said something, I guess she said something smart,
He's talking slick.
and he threw something at her. I would think a water bottle. Is that what they're saying?
Threw a water bottle at her. He threw a chair that broke, and the piece of the chair hit her. He ended up picking her up and throwing her over his shoulder. Carried her to the room, threw her on the bed.
To her bedroom? Mm-hmm.
They said he started kind of pretty much whipping her on the back of her legs. Picked her up by her sweatshirt. And he said, I hope you go in front of the judge and tell him she said, I hope you go in front of the judge and tell him what a horrible dad I am. I'm sorry, that's him. So, yeah.
Well, let me just say something.
She had her feet on the chair, too.
That's what it was. She had her feet on the chair.
And
right
he
here.
grabbed the chair from under her feet.
And it broke.
And it broke. And a piece of the chair hit her, and then the water bottle thing.
So as we were hearing this story, you guys, Michael Sean how old is your daughter?
She's 15, going to be 16 in January.
Okay, you were saying how these kids can get real smart now.
Yeah.
And they can try you. I remember my sister used to do it to my mom. Like, my mother had to physically fight my sister one time because she was, not just one, several, but because my sister had such a bad mouth, attitude, thought she could talk to my mom crazy. So my mama had to they really fought.
But that's your mom.
Right.
So that's a female on. See, the thing with having a daughter is, you know what potentially you could do to her.
Yeah. Right.
But you've never done it.
But she tests you.
But
she says some
that
things
mouth,
to you.
that little slick mouth. So I've never physically put my hands on it, but I've done the crazy.
Right.
Like, I've done the crazy to, where we checked it. It was one time, there was a little slick. Other than that, we've been good. But
what happens if you have, and luckily your daughter was good, but what happens from a father's perspective when your daughter is the one that is like, well, I know he ain't going to hit me, so then she keeps trying. What would you do in that instance?
You got to grip her. You got to grip her, and you got to let her feel the fact that you can lift her up against.
And that's what he did. He picked her up by her sweatshirt. He threw her on the bed. He spanked the back of her legs.
He tried to do the back of her legs. Yeah, tried to spank her the back of her legs.
But the problem with his situation of that, if he was intoxicated when he did it, no matter what happened, you are now going to be put in the wrong. Oh, yeah. Well, you should, because when you deal with a situation, and that can happen.
Because alcohol will escalate, or drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Niecy Nash, she's on that show, Claws
with Karuchi? Yeah.
You see that she and her husband are divorcing after 8 years.
Really?
All because, she got a brand new body.
Okay.
And they said that's when the troubles began, when she got that brand new body, and then she went to do this show. Swear to God, that's what he's saying. And so she went to do the show, and he didn't like the kind of stuff she was doing on the show.
She's doing a lot of racy stuff.
No, she has some sex scenes on there for sure.
Okay, so he was trying to tell her he didn't like that. She continued to do it, and now they're saying...
But that's her job.
I know. And they're done. And again, he said, but it all started because she started feeling herself when she got that new body. She got the lipo and the this and the that and got that body looking good.
Yeah, she's sexy now.
And she changed. And that will happen.
That will happen. You got to be careful what you want, guys. You might want her to be average.
So you don't want her to have higher self-esteem because it's going to mess with your self-esteem?
No, but she was having sex scenes like you said, and that's fine.
Her job.
That's fine, but they were being more racier than you've ever seen. This stuff that you've never seen, but you've never seen it on TV. The dude's butt is exposed and her legs are open.
Hold on a second, but for this woman who used to be a lot overweight, maybe she's feeling like finally people will see me as a sexy woman. I get to be on TV and get it like
inventing herself.
She didn't know how to control her superpowers.
Man,
she didn't know how to control that new body.
But can I tell y'all something? When you get something new on, like, let me tell you, when I get these new lashes on that I'm supposed to go get today,
let them know. Let them know.
I'm a different woman when I walk up in here. What?
You gonna grab that microphone different?
Hello, different. Hey, everybody. What?
I'm stuck up today because I got my hair braided.
You sure did.
What?
When we get something done, Mike acts different when he get a fresh haircut.
You know, when I come from the barbershop, I ain't got no shirt on. I've been here with no shirt. You see the skin, touch me.
We get it together. Come on now. So shouts out to Niecy Nash.
And shouts out to when you get your lashes.
I am, because I feel naked right now. Hey, caller number 10.
I'm like, is the sun hurting your eyes? Because it's one lash on the left. And it's
blinking.
I had allergies. I pulled them out. Stop it. There's one.
Those eyeballs are unprotected.
And Didi had the nerve to put mascara on.
I hate you.
Lash.
I hate you. I have one on each eye. Okay.
It's so cute.
Caller number 10. You're going to win passes to my funny and famous comedy show.
Your eyeballs.
Starring
Unprotected. Your eyeballs out here rolling the dice.
They ain't got no shield. No.
Well, some dust hit you, you blind.
All right, listen.
Eyes ain't got no roof.
All right, caller number 10. You can win passes to my funny and famous comedy show starring D. Ray Davis, Marlon Wayans, and these fools.
Wake that ass up.
Get up and get turned up with DD in the morning.
We get wild a bit.